Welcome back to the second session, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back. Apparently. Ooh, spotlight. There we go. I'm just going to mute everyone. So apparently, while I was waiting, there was an emergency alert on my phone of someone missing. So this is an interruption to your regular programming. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. There's no need to evacuate because there's no one to evacuate. There's no need to understand what is happening because there's no understanding this. There's no location to go. There's no emergency. But this is an emergency. There is no one listening to this. There's no truth to any of this. There is no reality. Everything is just a concept, including this emergency broadcasting. This announcement does not appear in time because there's only timelessness. There's no separation. It's only an illusion. Everything that is being expressed is an illusion. Well, even panic is an illusion. There's no need to panic. But if panic happens, that's also an illusion. This interruption is to illuminate that although everything is an illusion, everything is also what is. All illusion is what is. So there's no separation between emptiness and illusion. Emptiness and illusion is the same. This interruption is constant. It's emergency broadcasting. This is it. It is this. Always, forever, infinitely. But no one can hear it. This emergency broadcasting is a rerun. It's a repeat. It's always repeating over and over. It's appearing in everything. It's always. So what's being expressed here is that this broadcasting appears in no time, appears for no one, appears as is, appears as this. What is being expressed is this immediacy, this directness, this and this and this. There is no concept, although everything is in concept. There is no story, although everything is a story. There's no one here, but there's a felt sense of reality that there's someone here. So how can it be? Well, this emergency broadcasting is to interrupt the regular programming of a me or trying to lose the me because there's no me in the first place. There's no one that can get this. There's no one that got it here. There's no one that will get it there. And what is being expressed is this already. This is already. It's already everything. It's already nothing. It's already nothing and everything. It's everything and nothing happening at the same time. This emergency broadcasting is simultaneously appearing as an understanding, but it cannot be understood. This emergency broadcasting is directly speaking to emptiness. So emptiness, if you're hearing this, hello, emptiness. How are you? You're not there. You're not here. Hello, emptiness. There's no one here. It's just all emptiness. Hello, emptiness. This might seem really full. This might seem like there's something happening here, but it's all emptiness. Hello, emptiness. These are all labels. It's not even emptiness. It's just what is. It's not even what is. It's just this. It's not even this. It's just this energetic expression of no one expressing to no one. It's been expressed directly without the middleman. The middleman is an illusion, but it's also what is pretending to be the middleman. There's no negotiation here. It's already emptiness. So all of this is emptiness and there's nothing that cannot be understood. Everything that is thought, everything that is felt, everything that is seen is emptiness. Everything that is understood, everything that's misunderstood, everything that is unknown is emptiness. So this emergency broadcasting is coming from emptiness to emptiness, and it's not talking to anyone. It's only talking to emptiness. Emptiness is talking to emptiness to say, hello, emptiness. Hello. It's so direct and so clear. It's so obvious that this is all emptiness. This is all blankness. This is all nothingness, wholeness, whatever you might want to call it, but not what is a believed system of what this is. So what's being expressed here is just this directness. This hello. Echoing, echoing, echoing in nothing. Everything is just an echo of nothing. So this broadcasting is echoing in nothing. All of these words are nothing, echoes. These are all echoes of nothing. The broadcast has been running infinitely. There's also this illusion that's running infinitely. So since there's no one that's listening to this, no one that's getting this emergency broadcasting is to interrupt the regular programming. The regular programming maintains the me or wishes that there's no me. But the interruption is basically expressing that it's already done. It's already finished. There's nothing to get. There's nothing to understand. It's complete. Hooray. So this is basically an emergency broadcasting saying, hooray, it's all done. It's all finished. There are no problems here. There's never been a problem. There's never been a you that has a problem. These are just ideas that seems to interrupt what is already. So this is an emergency broadcasting, which is a seeming interruption, but what actually is interrupting this infinite broadcasting that this is all that there is this programming that is maintained that there is something other than this, that there's something outside of this, that there's something like a future this or before this. But when all of this is just expressed as this, as this, as this, there's nothing to know, there's nothing to get. And hello, emptiness. If you have any questions, please do. End of programming. Just having fun. Thank you, Linus. Hola, emptiness. It's in Spanish as well.
Hola, hola amigo, ¿cómo va eso? ¿Todo bien? ¿Viento por ahí?
No entiende.
Everything fine over there.
Just like emptiness, no one understands what emptiness is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gracias, amigo.
No, de nada. Todo bien, todo bien. It would be fun to make a movie like Roar the Negroes instead of say, are you talking to me? There's like an empty mirror and he's like a Dracula and there's no reflection and there's no nothing, just nothing.
It's just all a reflection of nothing, and it's always nothing.
Yeah.
Kind of like, have you seen those two mirrors that when it reflects, there's an infinity? An infinity mirror? It's like this. Yeah.
Like in the elevator, it's just
it's just this
reflects to nowhere land, no nothing to land.
It's the infinite reflection of nothing. It's the infinite echo of nothing. All of these talking.
Yeah.
I like your background there.
Me too. I love it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's AI as it best creating art with nonsense. Okay, I
Beautiful.
I don't know the prompt for that one. It's like how do you ask for that in the prompt to ask the AI to create such an art? Because it's like the to AI, you have to say, come on, AI, create this art for me. Because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
motivation. So there's like a prompt needed. So you should say, okay, I want two knees or two legs, like they are hanging out.
Oh, cool.
But I won't know how to say to the computer to create that or such an art.
Yeah.
That's the next job, the next job for humans, because we are doing nothing already. AI is going to do everything for us eventually, apparently. So it's like asking for do nothing for me.
I had this conversation with a simulation theorist, right? You know that everything is simulation, and
Yeah,
it was very interesting talk because kind of like what you're saying, everything is artificial intelligence, but there's no such thing as well. So
yeah,
even trying to grasp it as an AI or simulation is just an attempt to express what is. But it
yeah,
is like a simulation, isn't it? Like, you know, everything just seems to kind of like pop up, and the imaginary reality seems to just
yeah.
appear and disappear, and it's just a simulation, but for no one.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Linus.
No, no worries.
No worries.
I'm learning the. I I always used to say just you're welcome, but
Di
people
nada.
it's like too formal. So I was no worries. We said no worries.
No worries.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Emerson.
Hello, Leia. Oh, hi.
Hey,
How are you doing?
how are you?
Excellent.
I just got a little notice that you're having a meeting and I had to jump on. I know we just spoke 2 days ago, but I just couldn't thank you enough, really. Finally, there's clarity here. I can't express enough how much I got from our one-on-one. I've been circling in so much confusion for a couple months. And then when we spoke, it just started clicking. And now there's just more of a deepening of clarity. And it just makes perfect sense. And I go back and listen to the things I listened to before, and I'm like, oh, that's
Oh,
it. That's it. Yeah. It's like, there's so many lines of confusion out there and so many different things. It's hard to really get that clarity, but now it makes complete sense that I was applying too much thought onto things, trying to make sense of everything. And I know that's a part of it too, but yeah, it's like I'm catching the stories, and now I'm not going into them.
beautiful. Yeah, that was a really fun conversation because there is,
Yeah.
you know, when it sees there's always this emptiness, right? And it's just basically
Yeah.
a clarification that it's already, and
Already in,
it's
already
already,
done.
it's already
Oh,
done.
that's it. Yes. Yeah. I feel it really deeply. Yes. Yes.
That
So,
was beautiful. Yeah,
yeah.
it's just so simple, isn't it?
So darn simple. I could just kick my booty for all that time. Like, what is this? What, trying to interpret, going into deep breathing and analyzing all my thoughts and all that shadow work and stuff. And it's just right in front of your
It
face. And
is.
so
It's always it's
right here. I mean, it's just so apparent now.
it
So
is. It's permanent. It's the permanence, right? And it's
yeah,
just always is. It's always is. You're like, what the hell? What the, you know, it's just this,
yeah,
it clicks, right? You're like, oh,
yeah. it was here all along, and I was just trying to like make sense of everything. And I think the mind really gets in the way, because there's just so many different teachings and different things
Yeah.
to absorb, and it can lead you in circles. And I was in a spiraling pattern until you just brought so much clarity. Your character brought so much clarity. It was just like, boom. Okay. Yeah. Now I see it.
Yeah.
So
It is
yeah,
quite simple, and the complication of it is it's the teaching of it, of trying to get there. It's the dangling
yes,
of the carrot. It's this
yes,
offering, right? It's all this kind of like, you know what, if you're almost there, you know, it's
yeah,
addressing someone that's not there, if you know what I mean now, right? It's kind of like it's just
yeah,
the illusion, trying to instruct an illusion to do illusory things, which always
yeah,
results in an illusion. So the illusion
yeah.
can just spiral, right? You're like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
more spelling, more confusion. And then it didn't help that I was talking with people and they were like, um, no, you need to do mantras. You need to dissolve the I am into the
Yes,
nothingness of the consciousness and be the awareness of the awareness. And I was like, none of this is really making sense to
it
me. And I
doesn't.
think a piece of me always knew this,
Yeah,
but it was questioning a lot
yeah,
just from listening to apparent others. And then
yeah,
you cut through all the BS with me, and it was just
yeah.
like, boom, this is it. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
because it's so simple, but you know, I've gone through all
Yeah.
the BS though, right? I've also thought the BS. I also did
Yeah.
it, you know, so
Yeah. Yeah.
so it takes a, you know, it takes a bullshitter to know the bullshit, because I did it for
Oh,
quite a
no.
while, right? So now that there's clarity, you're like, oh, that's why it was eating me up for quite a while as a teacher, because I'm like, this is all BS. This is all
Yeah.
BS. That there's this empty BS detector though, as you know now that I'm speaking, right?
Yeah.
There's this resonance that, you know what, there's something off here, right? You know, with the teaching, you know,
Yes.
with maintaining the character, you know, and then
Yeah.
dissolving the character. If there was a character dissolved, it becoming the I am, or becoming the
Yeah.
self, right? All of these grandiose ideas.
Yeah.
And it just all kind of like, you know, it's like um this is the reason that there's a lot of reluctance to this communication, because it's so simple.
Hmm.
It's so simple, and it's brutal as well, because you know what I'm saying, because if there is a, there's even kind of like, you know, like a tiny belief, right? Tiny belief, right? It gets challenged all the time. It gets challenged and challenged and challenged. um
Yeah.
and then when that belief gets thrown off, just even for a split second, you're like, what the hell? So it's kind of like what I was doing in the opening, right? This is an emergency broadcasting. It's cutting through the regular programming, because it's
Yeah.
like a spell, right? It's like a spell.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny now though, because like when I'm walking around grocery shopping or just like seeing people, it's it's the same, but I'm seeing through it.
Yes.
That makes
Yeah.
Or even talking with other people and listening to their stories, and they're going so deep in their
Yes.
stories. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, wow.
Wow.
What do I even
Yeah.
say to this? Like, I just nod my head and go, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you know, going to a mall. You know, when I went to a mall one time, I'm like, this is like Sim City. Like there's just this characters that's kind of like moving and everything. And then for quite a while, I took it all so seriously, right? I would be like, you know, like I would go to, you know, even going to a mall, like, you know, am I dressed up? And now I look like a bum sometimes, like walking around, you know, because there's
No.
no care.
It's like, who would see me anyways?
That's right. But they're still caring, you know, like
Yeah.
I always said that doing these meetings is just beautiful, because it's just an exposure that nothing is happening. It's just gonna like, oh, it's
Yeah.
almost like there's this Sim City, and then you go take a little break into this clarity. You're like, oh, okay, because it's very
Yeah.
persistent, isn't it? Did you notice how persistent it is?
It's so damn persistent. And on top of that, it's almost in a sense a little bit lonely for me,
It
because
is.
yeah,
I
it's
know what
almost
you.
like, yeah, because you're like in on this open secret that like nobody around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny and sad at the
Well,
same
Leah, you
time.
came to the right. Apparently after this meeting, there's a breakout room, and there's some apparent characters that talk
Uh,
about this, right? So it's almost
yeah.
like a support group for no one.
A family of no one. I love it.
That's right. It's kind of
Oh,
it's just, yeah, when this first, when I came back to the city, because I was in an island, I had no idea who to talk to about this, right? Because I'm like,
yeah.
it's like, it's unbelievable. This is
Yeah,
this
they would
is
lock me away.
That's right. And it's just
Yeah.
such a, in the story anyway, it's just a small thing. There's this gigantic spirituality, which is like non-duality and awareness. It's giant, right? And then
Yeah.
there's this speck, you know what I'm saying, of like this radical, that there's nothing happening. And then, although, you know what, in spirituality and in some, applied non-duality awareness and all of that kind of like sage stuff, they'll mention it, but
Mhm.
but there's a practice, there's something to be aware of, and then it
Yeah.
becomes dualistic, and it's
Yes.
so silly that it's not caught, that
Yeah.
when someone is addressing someone, or when it's being addressed to you, when there's kind of like, a correction, or a seeming kind of like, specialness, like, look at me, I
Yeah.
got it, when no one's got it.
Yes. Yes. Or they're claiming to be enlightened, or
Yeah.
I had someone, I was really, really suffering at one point, and I had a woman that I did a one-on-one with, and she told me, well, just keep suffering. You just keep going deeper and suffer more and more. And I was thinking I had to suffer to get this.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what I thought too, because there's this fantastical stories of enlightenment, and it seems
yeah,
that there's this story of like suffering, you know what I'm saying? And then
yeah,
you get enlightened, but the
mhm,
suffering and the enlightenment are both stories.
right. Oh my
It's
goodness.
so silly, right? It just becomes, it's a comedy, isn't it?
It's a comedy. Like
It's a
I'm
comedy.
constantly laughing at myself, laughing at everything. Like it's just this giggle all the time. Like, what the?
Yeah, like for example, this morning, like I just went into after I walked my dog, it's really cold here, so I just went into this dance in the middle of the street.
Yeah. No, you're kidding.
No, I always do that though. And it's just the smallest things are celebrated, right? Although there's no one celebrating it, because there's
Yeah.
the seriousness programming is knocked out. You're like, what the hell? Because before, you know what, I would have to attach everything, like, I'll look at my watch and it's like, oh, it's
Oh, yeah.
12:12. Oh, it's 1:11,
Yeah, 11. The angels, what are they telling me?
Yeah. Or they're the mantras. You kind of like the mantras. I'm like, which mantra should I use? So I'll be like doing
Oh,
108
yeah.
mantras. And at the same time, I was doing A Course in Miracles. I was doing everything. I had crystals, all
Oh,
of
yeah,
this
the
stuff.
crystals.
The crystals,
Yeah.
right? The
Hundreds of
crystals.
dollars worth of crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
They're worth nothing. They're pretty.
Well, this one gives love, and
Yeah.
this one gives me courage, and this one makes me happy. Yeah. I was just seeking everything but this.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Because I was already in this awareness thing, but I still had tarot cards, of like,
Yeah.
like angel readings and stuff like that, because, somehow I believe I was clairvoyant, because I was special. So what's really taken off is the programming of specialness as well, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and then here you are looking at someone special, someone less special. There's no one special.
Yep.
There's no one special.
It's
And that's why this is not attractive to a lot of people, because this is actually the dissolution, or the disappearance of your specialness, right? And it's not attractive. It's not attractive, but the special also is a special suffering, a special separation, a special this, Today's special, suffering, you know.
Goody. Yay.
And I remember when this was seen, I'm like, there is no others. There is no others. Although there's a persistent programming or illusion, that apparition, that there are others because they have opinions and everything. And then
Yeah.
one time I was like talking to someone, I started laughing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
It's so funny because like knowing that there's no other, but I can still in the illusion pick apart where they're stuck, where they're
Yeah.
playing the game.
Yeah.
And it's seen through.
Yeah.
So I'm just constantly laughing at what's arising. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like
It's just
wow.
it's
You can't.
even the picking apart is what arising to. So there's nothing that's not arising. Everything is arising, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's stunning now because there's no more entrapment. You know what I'm saying? There's no more entrapment. There's just this openness for what is.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like it should be like this, or trying to like, before I would be like fighting with people over opinions, like, where, no, it's got to be like this. And now
Yeah.
it's just like, oh,
Oh.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
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 Well,
thank
thank you for coming, Leia, and then we'll chat again soon.
Definitely. Thank you, Emerson, so much.
Thank you. Not special, but so much room for creativity. Yes, there's this openness now, right? So there's this is an infinite source of inspiration. Yeah. You know, it's so funny because I abandoned piano a little bit. And then when I started, when there was just playing the piano, it was just this piano playing for hours and hours because there's no more audience. So there's just this boundlessness, right? Of whatever. Tej goes, nothing and no one special is actually beautiful. Yeah, it is. The sameness, actually, because, there's this perception that sameness is just blandness and boring. No, the sameness is there's the sameness, and everything arising from it is the same. It's all nothing. All and nothing. Thank you, Tej. Ghislaine. Oh, hi, Ghislaine.
Hi,
Comment ça va?
Emerson. Ça va bien.
Someone messaged me if you're
Yeah.
Celine Dion.
Me? I look like Celine Dion. Yeah.
Someone messaged.
I wish I had her voice.
But there's no Celine Dion and there's no Ghislaine. So
No. That's for sure. Oh, I forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, I wrote about creativity because I'm always stunned the way you enter in the subject. It's all the time. It's new and it's fresh, and you do not repeat yourself. It's not dry. It's very inspired.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I feel the same about this.
Yeah.
Non-message. It's so wow.
Yeah, it's so great when there's no authority, because this is anarchy speaking.
Yeah.
And anarchy can be really be creative and
free to be.
Yeah, because there's no structure to this.
No.
There's no according to this, no according to that. There's none of that. There's this just freshness that's coming out, right? And then there's no one censoring or anything. It's just appearing as what is. So there's this full-on creativity on what is being expressed here.
No expectation on how it should appear to be. There is no expectation. It is like it is, and you cannot tell what it is. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah. So this is my couple of words.
Beautiful. I like your background there.
Yes.
Yes, it's beautiful. I like brick walls.
It's better than my kitchen.
Because I used to keep on hitting the imaginary brick wall.
Yeah. I guess I have the same. I had it like it's It's an ad, an application, an app
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you can add. So
The
I
same
think
one.
you had the same, eh?
The same one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a channel now. Nobody's
Yeah, I
whispering,
have
right?
so much fun. I'm just crazy.
Oh, good.
I do whatever. I don't mind. I
Yeah.
don't care.
This is free. This is
Yes.
this is unconditional freedom, right? To express how whatever it is, because there is no one getting this wrong or right. It's just
It's
what
not
is.
serious at all. So
No. Beautiful.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gillian. Elio goes, I cannot see the nothingness and the emptiness, but it's very clear that if this is everything, why to look for anything? Cannot be something more or less. Yes, you will never see nothingness or emptiness because it's emptiness and nothingness. It's not about understanding or trying to figure out what this is, because what this is always this. And it's not about trying to capture what it is. It's always clear. It's always clear that it's empty, but for no one. Thank you, Elio. Catherine. Hey, Catherine. Hello.
Hello, I just wanted to say hi to everyone. I seem to have been missing.
Yes.
It's like I forget. I don't know why. It's whatever appears on the screen. I thought, oh, so just so happy to be here.
Oh, there's always forgetfulness because there's nothing to remember.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you,
just
Catherine.
wanted to say hi.
Hello. Say hello, everyone, to Catherine. Whereabouts are you, Catherine?
South Devon
South
in
Devon.
the UK.
In the UK, that's right. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
that's right. Well, thank you for coming, Kathy.
Thank
From
you.
UK. Hello. Who's that? Leia? Did you unmute yourself? Hello. Oh no. Okay. Kane goes, hi, can you speak about distance, please? So since there is no location, what is being expressed is immeasurable. It doesn't have a distance. It doesn't have a point A or point B. So there are no distances. It's just all of this appearance of appearing as, here to there, but there's no here to there. It's just stillness. You can also say that this is just moving stillness. There's nothing happening, but everything seems to be happening at the same time. So there's just this stillness, seemingly dancing, but still. Hi, Emerson. Can you ask Leia to come back and share her experience? It's up to her. Did you hear that, Leia?
Yeah, I was just folding my laundry and I heard you say my name.
It's kind of funny because when there's this communication, it's like there's always this curiosity, right? Of although nothing happened, you know.
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to share.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a lot of seeking, actually tirelessly seeking, once I had an apparent Kundalini awakening.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was, but it really inspired the seeking afterwards to try and figure out what happened. I was sleeping one night, and in the middle of the night, I woke up and literally felt like an energy rising through my body and almost exploding in my head. And I couldn't make what that was. And it was very frightening for me because I had no knowledge of it.
Yeah.
And so I started looking up Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta, trying to find people who knew something about Kundalini, doing all the spiritual research, which led me in circles and confusion. And so I started getting the knowledge of Hinduism, Advaita, Buddhism, and I was thinking like there was something in it that I needed to interpret. I needed to meditate so many hours and do all these practices at that point to hone in the Kundalini energy and fully awaken.
I did the same. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think on our one-on-one the other day, I even mentioned I had a teacher that I saw online who spoke about the Kundalini. So we did a one-on-one session, and he kept yelling at me, "The I am, you know, the I, dissolve the I." And I'm like, me? I? He's like, "You don't know the I." And he was screaming at me. I was more confused. And then I came upon Emerson, and just everything that I heard was like clicking, and the way that he describes it is spot on. Just there was a resonance like none other. So then I immediately went on my phone. I was hiking. I saw he had an appointment open. I booked it, ran back to my car, ran home, and we had the discussion. And it was just 2 days ago that I got all this clarity, the perceived me. Really, it started to make sense. The timelessness, the spaciousness, nothing happening. I've heard those words so many times, but this time it just clicked for nobody, apparently. But it's so basic. It was like I was running in circles with my thoughts, trying to make sense of everything. And it's not in the thoughts because you're constantly creating more stories. So I think it was more like a surrendering to what is. Like, this is it. It's in my breath. It's in my speech. It's in every little bit around me. You're never separate from it. You're always whole. It's always expressing through this. So it was that recognition of wholeness and boundless and timelessness, no stories, no past, no character. It just, it just all clicked into place. So Emerson forever has my gratitude. I have patients to refer to you too. So I have a line of people. Seriously, because I was really spiraling out. Like, my parents were worried about me because the seeking was so heavy, and just to have that burden lifted and to be able to just relax is incredible.
Usually that's what happens is when there is this apparent kind of like seeing, you know, and when it gets kind of like convoluted into ideas and and
Yeah.
then becomes concepts, becomes like awareness and everything. So it
Yeah.
it just completely complicates something that is just so simple, just the ordinariness, right? And it's just
Yeah.
very, it's just in everything, in every
Yeah.
blinking of the eye, every word that comes out of
Yeah.
your mouth is empty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Every breath,
Yeah. Yeah.
every smell that you smell is empty. Yeah, it's just so simple. So when I
Yeah.
usually do is there's no one doing anything. It's just emptiness speaking to emptiness, and it's just that clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is just emptiness speaking to emptiness, and that's basically it. And
Yeah.
without any conceptual of what emptiness is or what it should be or what it could be, it's always this.
Yes.
Yeah.
No doer needing to like prove or do anything or say anything specific. I could say supercalifragilis, right? And then-
I was talking to someone else. It's like the spell has been broken. It's just a spell, right? It's a silly spell of separation.
yeah. But when you're in it, it feels so real and so dense. And
It does.
and there's so many people in my life who are like, you're going crazy, non-dual, what are you talking about? Like, no, it's the spirits and the angels communicating, and it's the old like everybody has something to say that had me questioning myself for a while.
Yeah.
So
It's
this message was like
boom, right? It's
Good.
that's what I did before too, because in the seeking, although I was listening to the apparent sages and everything, the seeking was still there. I was still seeking, like, maybe it's ascension, maybe it's the 5D, maybe I'm an alien, all that kind of stuff, maybe I need to channel that. It's still in the circus, right? It's just a ride called awareness. It's just a ride called consciousness. It's the same ride as ascension. It's the same ride as angel kind of like readings and stuff, or UFO. It's the same. It's all in the same circus.
It's all there. Yeah. And it's so funny because this character, I have friends in that realm, who call me and they're like, you've got to ascend to 5D and you're taking your body with you now. So you've got to prepare, be a vegetarian, prepare that body.
Yeah.
And, or I have apparent friends who are very psychic, and it's scary how psychic they are, the things they tell me. But, I've recognized, that's the story too.
That's a story too. Yeah. There's a story believes in the story, that it's a real story is still a story. A story that believes in special powers or attainment is just a story. So it's just a storybook. And there's nothing kind of like, it's all pages and pages of stories. And when it's seen through with the clarity. And Fred just goes, another testimonial for your website. It's kind of funny about this because I don't even do testimonials.
You should. You have to do one. I mean, really, it's really amazing. The clarity from your message is very profound.
No one's message. Yeah, it's just this. I just have fun with it because it's like, when I talk to people on a one-on-one, I'm not really meeting anyone. I'm meeting emptiness all the time, but there's no one in emptiness, that kind of thing, right? It's just, this is emptiness that's speaking and talking to, and it's just words again. We don't even have words for what's happening right now. It's just this moving, talking, whatever it is. But
this goofy character.
Chirp. Yeah, this is just chirping. We're just chirping right now. But for no one, but I was just so involved in that as well. It's kind of funny, right? When that seeking, especially the biggest curse is kind of like a Kundalini awakening, because it's suffering, isn't it?
I really don't wish it on anybody.
No, me too. Yeah.
It was super, super intense. And, I reached out to some speakers and they just told me keep suffering. And I was like, where is the compassion here? It's really deep suffering. Like a full body felt apparently in this dream is just incredibly intense.
Yeah. And then you think that you have to maintain it. Do you think you have to maintain that suffering, because there's this bliss and suffering, It's like being in hell,
Yes.
bliss and suffering.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It just goes back and forth, goes back
It-
and forth.
It's like a wave, like you're high and then it's like you can't get out of bed and your body is
Yes.
crawling and
Yes.
it's just back and forth. You feel like you're losing it.
Yeah. And then and
yeah.
it's just, and then all of a sudden you can like, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna have to be ultra vegan now. That's what I did. Right. Like I would kind of like I'm only going to eat fruit that fell off a tree right now because I can't do no harm, because if I do harm, then I will lose this bliss. Right. And this suffering
Yes.
will just keep on happening and happening. And it's just, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shoot, I have to be breatharian now because that's not even working. The suffering kept on happening over and over. And I'm like,
then I was wondering, is this gonna be forever? Like,
yeah.
you know, and that was so scary to me. Like, that's when the seeking really amplified because I'm like, I can't stay in this suffering like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just a story again, right? The maintenance that something happened to you that's special maintains the suffering, because you're special and you're not special. How do I keep on? It's just the dream of specialness. And and then some people that gets that apparent awakening, you know, sometimes they become this is just a story, this enlightened ego now, right? That they have gotten something and they're yelling at you, go with the I am. Go with the I am.
I'm like, ooh. Yeah, so that's my parent story.
Thank you for sharing it, that person. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Petra.
Hi, Emerson.
Hello.
I have a friend over here. We were on the Buddhist path.
Oh, hi.
Path for
Hi.
Hello.
ages, and I encourage him to ask. He's asking me questions, but
Sure, sure.
but he should ask you better.
What's your name?
I said already,
You-
I have
your
only
name, you-
beginners questions. Sievert is my name.
Sievert.
Sievert. And in Buddhism, as Petra already mentioned, that we have this background, there's a saying from a Buddhist master who says, those who believe that everything is real are totally stupid. And those who believe that it is not real are even more stupid. So where do we go with our awareness?
There's no
What
dose.
is happening? Everything possible?
Sorry, repeat again, Siebert. Sorry. So where do you go with?
Our awareness, do you say it's already, or everything is already happening?
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
There's no one and nowhere to go.
But everything
see-
is possible, isn't it?
It's already
Everything.
done. It's already done. There's nowhere to go and there's nothing to get. There's no one here. And it's so silly to hear this, you know, I admit, right? But all of this is also silly to say that there is someone that believes and there's someone that does not believe. Both are illusory. So what's being expressed here is just kind of like yanking off the whole kind of like veil and saying that this is it. This is already what is being longed for. What is being longed for is the absence. And this is the absence, but not the absence as you know it, because this is not about the knowing, not the emptiness as you know it, because this is not about understanding. This is the absence. This is the emptiness without understanding it, without knowing it. It's just clearly as this. So this is stillness moving. This is silence speaking. That's silence nodding. It's the same thing. So there's no here and there. There's no hierarchy. There's no one at all, because everything that we're talking about is just a story. It's just a collection of stories. So what if there's just a pause right now? You know, this is just imaginary, and this is just a pause, kind of like someone pauses, kind of like a movie, without any definition, without any history, without any understanding, without any roots, without any source. What is this?
Everything and nothing, as always.
It's unknowable. Yeah. So everything is already nothing, and nothing is already everything. So there's nothing to figure out when everything is appearing in this, as this, as always this.
It just happens.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's very simple.
So it's very difficult for you to talk about something like that, yeah? Because always someone opens his mouth, nothing happens.
Well, there's no one actually that's opening their mouth. It's just an appearance.
Right. The appearance. That was a question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sieber. It's like, thanks for nothing, Emerson. Lauren. Hey, Lauren. Hello.
Hi, Emerson.
Hello.
So I was inspired to talk to you because of Leah and what she said. Anyway, I also had what I guess is known as a Kundalini beginning. And the way that I went through it was like bliss for like 3 months.
Yes.
Like full body bliss. And
Yeah.
on a level that I never even could have thought was possible.
Yeah.
Then there was a feeling that I had done something to like lose that.
Yeah.
I really, the seeking for recovering that feeling is, I mean, it's been 3 years and it's like,
yeah,
never stop, you know?
that's what we said, right? It's like a curse, right? It's just this high and then there's deep low, right? It's like when do I hit the rock bottom? You're like, maybe there's another rock bottom. This is not it, you know, because I'm still suffering. So you're waiting for that, the ultimate suffering, so that it can bring about that bliss again. But those are all illusion, right? I did it. It's something similar happened to me 12, 15. I don't know. Nothing happened really. But in the story, there was also Kundalini, awakening. Although there's no such thing as Kundalini awakening, if you know what I mean. It's just a term for something that is just, there is just this openness. And then that bliss, I thought I had to maintain, and I made it last for about a year, right? But when my mom and, but I went full out. There were some moments that I was suffering, but I would be like, I just need to do some selfless service. I need to go to the homeless, you know what I'm saying? And be of service. When you're doing that though, it's really blissful. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that by doing that, I could maintain it. I'm like, I'm going to open up a center, for everyone so that they can come. And then of course, without knowing it, I became a guru, you know what I'm saying? Because here I was teaching on how to maintain that awakening. Right? Although I never really told anyone that I was awakened, there was this blissfulness that was happening. But behind closed doors, when everything was falling apart, it was worse, because the longer that you have it, it's like, this is just a story as well, right? The longer the suffering seemingly in the story, right? It was a disaster. It was a disaster. So kind of like, sorry.
I will book a one-on-one with you to go more into the not necessarily the stories, but I mean, I can understand everything that you're saying. And I've gotten to the point with this non-dual message, if that's
whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
That, I mean, I'm kind of giving it, there's a lot of giving it up, or the surrender,
but no one's surrendering, no one's giving it up too. But go ahead. Go ahead.
No, for sure. I mean, there's a back and forth of I guess mostly trying to make everything smoother in my life. Like, I no longer am looking for the big questions, but now it's like, if I had different energy, maybe it would be easier to get my dry cleaning on time.
This should have, could have, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, just, I would like to be sitting in contemplation of beauty at all times. And that's not exactly what. This is beautiful.
So it's making, because I thought about that too. That's why it's making me laugh. I can relate to that, right? Because for a moment, like there was in the dream anyway, there was this moment, or lasted for quite a while, that I thought that it was always the golden hour, because I was like, this blissful being. Talking about, right? It's like,
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh my God. Oh man.
And then after that, like I call him like, oh shoot, that was the worst high because the hangover was horrible. The hangover from that, intoxication was just so horrible because here I was like, when can I go back to that bliss? Oh, maybe I need to meditate more. So I'm like forcing like 3-4 hour meditation every day, doing breath work like crazy until I was like almost passing out. Like I was doing, extreme pranayama, like everything that I could do. Like, let me get that energy. I'm like, I'm just blocked. Like, going to the crystal shop and buying all of the crystal. I'm like, maybe I just need one more crystal to unblock this, whatever. You know what? It was all, yeah, it was madness, right? It's madness, right?
Yeah.
Going to retreats after another retreat, kind of like looking, it's kind of like looking for like, looking for someone's, to kiss someone's feet, so that hopefully I can get it back. Who do I have? Whose feet do I have to kiss to get it back?
Yeah.
Do I need everything, everything just to get into that state of bliss? But that state of bliss is this.
Right.
It's always this, but it's not the bliss that you know or what you think that you've attained. The bliss that is being expressed here is that it's not about an interpretation for it. It's that it's just the freedom in what's appearing and not having any perception of what is. Well, there's no one choosing to perceive or not to perceive, but there lies the answer there, right?
Right.
It's the perception and the not the perception. It's both. So what you perceive is not real, although what you perceive you think is real. So when you're making the blissful experience real, what you're perceiving as this is not real. This is the hangover, but there's no one hungover. You know what I'm talking about? This is always it. There was no past and there's no future. This is it. And what this is doesn't have to be maintained or to be fantasized. It's not, there's got to be something better than this. This is it. And when there's this seeing through, although there's no one, seeing through that all of the arising of what this should be is what is blocking this. It's what obscuring it, right? Because there's a reference point now. That's why it's a curse.
Yeah.
There is this kind of like, there's this yardstick of like, how high did I get the last time? 3 months. I just want one day, that was.
Yeah.
But this is the suffering and this is the bliss simultaneously happening. But there's no suffering and bliss at the same time. Those are just perceived ideas of what this is. So when there is a seeming, what do you call that? Not obscuring, but superimposing of what this should be, then what this is blocked.
Yeah.
Although it's never blocked because it's what's superimposing it is also this.
Exactly.
But there's this kind of like there's this singularity, and then the perception divides it into this and that, and it's seeing it in a lens of this is not it and this is it. But when it's seeing that this is not it and this is it, is the same. It's the same paradise. You've never really left. You're like, wow. There's just this holding on to seemingly to that belief system that something special happened to you. It didn't happen. It's like kind of like what I talked about. You have this big that I talked about the puppy holding this stick, right? It's a yardstick, right? It can't get through because it's holding on to that stick, but its stick is just a stick.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Lauren. We should talk soon.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Ghislaine.
Just not long. I found it very interesting that the Kundalini thing. I never had it. Thank you.
Yes.
But I guess if the sense of self doesn't vanish, because there's only emptiness appearing as everything. That's it. That's all. And the sense of self, it's hell. It's the trigger. It's everything that fucked everything up. So that's it. And there's no self to be found. So
no, when there is an apparent, only apparent, awakening of something that is perceived as something that's real, it's an awakening in the dream. So it's a dream within the dream. So there is this, and then it becomes a nightmare because you're trying to get back into that dream that never really happened. And then all of a sudden you're talking to people that are yelling at you, saying, yeah, I am.
The sense of self really is like strong, apparently, because they say you are the self, you are the special, so there is no self. That's the good news.
It's
good riddance.
It's just so obvious, right? Because what is maintaining it is the one that's trying to get rid of it.
Yes, of course, because there isn't any. So, well, there's no suggestion, but this is it. Okay, there's only this. There's nothing to find other than this. So try to find a self there. There's no self.
There's
there.
no self. Yeah, it's the ridiculous search for the self, right? It's and then it becomes it first becomes the search for God, and it becomes the search for the source. It becomes the search for the self. The higher self then becomes the search for the I am. Then it becomes the search for awareness. Then it becomes the search for consciousness.
It has no end.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Madness.
Yes, madness.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you. And it's so funny because when you see some of this, and this is just, there's no others, it's just a story. When you see some of these teachers, they're so angry.
Oh yeah, that's
so angry, right? So angry or so serious. If not angry, serious, because it's maintaining a facade. It's maintaining a location.
I don't know. It seems like something is very strange happening in this. It seems that there are really good teachers, with nice pointers. Apparently, they can express. They're very good at explaining.
Yeah.
And is it coming from a sense of wanting to help apparent others?
There's no others. So you know what?
Yeah,
in the dream, there is just speculation that hopefully there's earnestness there. But sometimes
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too
yeah. There's earnestness there, or there's just a sense of specialness.
Shit.
I think it's very difficult for this energy of me to vanish. It's so strong. So I guess that's it. People wants to be special because it apparently feels good up until it feels very bad.
Yeah, it maintains it, right? So the maintenance of it keeps it special.
But
when there's nothing to maintain, but when there's nothing to maintain, it's very ordinary. It's just just walking to a mall with running pants.
yes.
Dancing in the middle of the road, not caring.
It's could all be farmers, with no study at all, just simple life,
It's really simple.
Very happy.
It's very simple. Yeah. It's not about levitating. It's not about ascending. It's not about special powers. It's not about some kind of oh, look at me. My, I don't, whatever is being expressed is just, it's all BS, right? So
Yeah.
when there is this comparison, or it is what it is. It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Because it happens all by itself and does not happen at the same time.
At the
So,
same time, yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you, Gillian. Casey. Hello.
Hey,
How are
man.
you, Casey? Hello. Hey, man.
Good. Yeah, so I have a thought this week. I was thinking about like inner and outer, how they say there's no inner and there's no outer.
Yeah.
And and lately it seems like others are real, especially my family,
Of course. There's always going to be this
no
felt
inner and
sense
there's
of
no outer.
reality. Yeah.
Could you talk about that a little?
Yeah. So you know what? For example, there's just this felt sense of reality that's always going to be a felt sense of reality. Otherwise, you would not be, you'll be eating a food and you're like, it tastes like nothing. There'll be no more enjoyment. Or for example, you'll be walking through walls because there's no separation. Or you know what? When you're talking to someone, they're going to put you in the psychiatric ward because you're just going to talk gibberish all the time. So there's this play of reality. Although there's no one in it, there is this seeming, what was that? I don't know. Cool.
Galaxy.
there's this kind of like, when you're eating something spicy, just because there's no one, you're not going to say that it's no longer spicy.
Oh, it's not spicy at all. You're crying and stuff.
It is going to be what it is. So this felt sense of reality is always going to feel real. It's not about, nothing feels real anymore, because that's just another story.
Mm-hmm.
So the kind of like in a dream, although there is a dream, you know what I'm saying, that is seen as a dream, the dream still feels absolutely real. Kind of like what I always mention, when you're dreaming at night and you're doing something that is like you're flying or something, you don't question the reality of it. You're just flying. Like, the felt sense of realness of others. You know what? You don't question the reality that there are really no others, because it seems like there are others, but everything is an illusion, including that. So it's everything is just this real and not real. It's not a position, right? It's this openness. It's kind of like, it's like everything becomes transparently clear that it's real and not real at the same time. Although you don't know it because there's no one there. There's just this clarity. Like, okay, and it doesn't require an experience. There's no experiencer. It's just what is. It's kind of like when you wake up in the morning, it's kind of like, where am I? Oh, I'm at home. That kind of thing. Or when you wake up in the morning and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then it comes together. So it's the unreal, meaning nothing happening, and the seemingly happening that's simultaneously appearing, although you don't know it because there's no one that knows this, right? But there's just, so when there's an emptiness, seeing it, that it's everything is completely empty, and then right away, kind of like when you wake up in the morning, the fullness comes on. Oh, I had a glimpse, but really no one had a glimpse. Or, oh, the me fell away, but really no one fell away.
Yeah.
But it kind of like there's this felt sense of realness that it has somehow to make sense, although nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. I wish, I don't know if he's here. No, he's not here. There's this person that that it was just perfectly expressed. I don't know what's going on. He just kept on saying that over and over and over.
Yeah.
What is going on? Nothing. Because how come it seems like, there is this ongoing, something, but it feels empty. Although that's even using more words, because this cannot really be fully expressed. And I'm not trying to complicate it. It's just basically expressing what is as is. Without any,
the I can't see the me can't see the emptiness.
No, because there's no me. It's emptiness.
Yeah. There's just a belief that like me could see it or something. But
the belief
Story,
system is comes back. It kind of like, it's like the general army of the illusion, right? It come like, we believe this, we believe in separation.
Oh,
There is
man.
time because yesterday, right? But the general army of the platoon of illusion is illusory as well. It just maintains reality by kind of like, maintaining that it is real, that the belief is real. But if you really look at belief, what's a belief really? It's nothing.
What's a knowing really? What knowing
Nothing.
isn't anything. It's not
No.
objective.
No, yeah, there's no
Most
subject.
subjective thing probably. Well,
Yeah, it's just subjective, right? The truth, knowing, or when someone says, I figured that I am, or even the imaginary kind of like, it's just all imaginary. And there's just levels of sincerity or honesty. In some of, because when this is seen, it's unseen at the same time.
yeah, really,
Yeah.
it can really throw off something.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to that is like thoughts arise, of course, automatically, and then like at times I'll be like, oh no, thoughts will rise like, oh no, I should be helping that person more or not helping them more. But there's no like inner thoughts and no outer people speaking. Like people speaking on the outside and thoughts on the inside are both the same.
It's the same.
And that really
that's
like blew open the doors of like,
yes.
There's no boundaries.
There you go, brother. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the slim kind of like, or the really flimsy separation that there's an outer and an inner. So when that's blown wide open, that there's really kind of like, what the hell? It's what is inward is also outward. It's the same.
Yeah.
Everything is an illusion. There's no, because everything that it's easy to say that that there are no thoughts. It's also say that there's no sound. There's no words. It's the same. It's all emptiness. Inside, outside, there's no inside, outside. It's just emptiness.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you. Oh, Corey. Hi, Corey. Sorry, I didn't see you. Corey, go ahead. But if you're not suffering, Kelsey first said, if you're not suffering, you're not working hard enough. Something I used to believe. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm like, what kind of suffering do I have to go through to get this? But where is Corey? Hi, Corey.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. But I'll find you. Don't worry. There it is, Corey. Hi, Corey.
Can you see me now?
Now I can see you.
I finally got my microphone fixed, so this is great. Yeah. No, I was just on the radio the other day. There was a man talking about prayer, and he had a vision that he got to build this brick wall, and it took him several years. It was Jesus speaking to him.
Okay.
He was very involved with the church, and people were saying the people that all had their prayers answered, the power of prayer. So he finally, after 6 or 7 years, bought this piece of land and got permission to build the wall. And everybody that had a prayer answered had to put a brick on the wall.
Oh, wow.
And I just kind of thinking, well, what's going on there? Is it just that their mind that believe, because prayers they are answered according to this?
Oh, yeah. I'll make a more personal kind of like response to that. My mom, who's had 4 brain surgeries, has a really strong faith in God, right? So she prays all the time. She prays every day. She prays, prays the rosary. It is what is, right? It is what is. There's just this. It's seen that that's also what is. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what's happening. It's not a proof, or there's no, it is what is. I'm not going to go, tell my mom, there is, whatever, nothing. When there's this fate, you know what I'm saying, in her. There's just this radical acceptance of what is. It's just what is. That's emptiness appearing as my mom praying to emptiness, her version of it. Although there's no mom, but don't tell her that.
Yeah.
It's just what is. It's just emptiness appearing as a mom praying to
Yeah.
emptiness. Yeah.
But in the story, it does seem to have an effect. So that would just be power of belief, wouldn't it?
In the story, there is,
Right.
there is a mom, but it's a story. So it's seen that everything seems to be the belief that, whatever it is, or it could be just really good science.
So how do you mean?
When my mom survived all of this 4 brain surgeries, right? And she would wake up with this biggest smile on her face, from a surgery. And she would say that I'm not wearing any makeup. She looks beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So she has really good skin. So she wakes up really beautiful. And she said, because I have my fate. And then my brothers and I were like, it's really good. It's a really good surgeon. We would say that, right? But it is what it is. So science and even, her fate are the same illusion. There's nothing real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But
Yeah.
So yeah. Doesn't seem to work for me.
Because it's already done.
Yeah.
It's already done. Everything that you prayed for is this already. It's already this. It doesn't require fate. It's just this.
Yeah, I do tell myself that. And where I'm living, it's really dark and creepy and funny. And I've wanted to move for about 12 years. And so I think people say to me, oh, just think positive, see yourself where you want to be. And I think that never worked. And I'm still here. But so now I've kind of given up trying to do anything. Well, I really, to the mind, it's not what I want at all. And I'm still here, and
Yeah.
I can do about it.
Yeah, there's just this peace no matter what it is, right? So there could be a fluctuation of the mind stuff. There's no mind. It's just fluctuation, but there's always peace. There's nothing that there's already this peace that is constant, that is infinite, that you will never lose, because there's no you that can lose it, because this is peace itself. It's just peace.
Yeah.
But do ring me up. We'll chat more. I keep on waiting for your call, but it never happens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I thought you. Sorry.
I'll email you because I think you wanted to talk, but I'll email you and I'll give you my WhatsApp, or we can do a Zoom if you figure it out.
I
Yeah.
don't have a mobile phone, so I don't do WhatsApp. I don't know what that is.
Okay. I'll just email you. We'll chat more. We'll chat more.
I can do Zoom, and I can do
We'll do Zoom.
Yeah.
We'll do Zoom.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just email me because I don't have a memory. I don't.
I'll email you. Okay.
Okay. Love you, Corey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There's a question here from could you say more about the sameness of inside and outside? Thank you for these meetings. Yes, of course. So there is this belief of a inward and an outward. There's this idea that there's a separate inside chatter, and there's an outside chatter. So what's being expressed here is that both are illusory. There's no inside and there's no outside. So there's no inner dialogue and there's no outer dialogue. And what seemingly is appearing is this felt sense of reality that there's someone talking here, that there's someone expressing this, but there's nothing happening here as well. It's just an illusion. It's just an appearance. But there is this felt sense reality because you can see this mouth moving. But really, if the ideas and thoughts and belief system of what's happening, if we cut all of that and basically see what is, and this is even expressing too much, this is just stillness that is moving. This is just silence that is sounding. So nothing that is being expressed here is anything special at all. It's just illuminating that there's nothing needed because this is already the stillness that is being sought for. This is already the peace that is longed for. This is the liberation that's wanted because there's no one doing any of this. So this is a free fall. This is automaticness, directness appearing as this speaking character. So there's no inward or outward because what is seen, there's no separation. Separation inside, outside is just an idea of what is. And what is cannot be caught in an idea because this is already what is. This is already what is being longed for, but we don't have a word for it. And the words that seemingly appear in trying to get this is what obscures it. It's what hides it. Although nothing is hidden, there's an idea, there's an illusion of hiding. I just noticed that my microphone has been mangled by my puppy. You see that? And that's also what is. The microphone being chewed by your puppy. So there's nothing that can be deleted or edited out. There's nothing inward or outward. It's just appearing as an internal and an external, but there's no such thing. It's just another illusion. But thank you for your question. If you would like to add more to that, please go ahead. We'll see you again, Casey. How could it be possible that you're getting clearer and clearer, more handsomer and handsomer? That's a paid testimonial. Thank you. Thank you. Although there's no one here, it's just what is. Thank you. Hi, Emerson. When you say that there is only what is, nothing happened a second ago, does that mean if I turn the oven on 30 minutes ago, then I don't need to turn it off because it did happen? LOL. Thank you for any further clarification on this. So in this, what seemingly happened 30 minutes ago is in this. So the not turning off or turning it off is in this. So there's nothing outside of this. So the 30 minutes ago, the future 30 minutes later when it's supposed to be is in this. So the concept of time, that there is a linearity to it, is in this. It's an illusion. The concept of time, although I would not suggest forgetting about your oven because surely your house will burn. But what is expressed is that it's all in this. So this is the never moving this. And seemingly there's a parade of illusions. There's a time, there's belief, there's you, there's I, but really it's a singular illusion of separation. So time separates this timelessness. This word separates this silence. this movement seemingly obscures this stillness. But really, everything all that there is just this immovable this. There's no future this, there's no past this. It's always this. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. And go check your oven. Kelsey. Oh, hi, Kelsey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my microphone's broken, so that's why I was asking. What would you say in a situation where someone feels they have something to teach you?
There's something they have to...
Like when in a situation where somebody feels like they have something to teach you.
Oh, it's just what's happening. You know what I'm saying? It's just what's happening. There's just this openness here, right? It could be, if someone has to teach me DJ skills, that's cool. It's just what is. If somebody has, if there's no one here that no one has reached anything here. There's this openness here, right? So if there's, for example, someone, someone mentioned to me, sometimes, there's just this bluntness here that I speak about other, speakers. I don't mention the names anymore. So that's seemingly a lesson, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just, there's no others. And there's really no point in there's just, there's openness here. It's not a closed kind of like, this is my position. There's no one here that has a position. So for example, if there is this seeming, lesson or whatever, or something kind of like what this other person said, that, hey, you should not mention the other speaker's name and everything. There's no longer doing of that. Sometimes it blurts out, but it's it is what it is. So everything is allowed, learning, not learning, but there's no closed doors here. It's an open house. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. What time is it? Wow. I didn't even know that. It's this is supposed to be an hour meeting. That's why I made it into 2 meetings, but actually it's 90 minutes now. And this has been, thank you so much, everyone. It's been so awesome to do this meetings. Maybe I'll do one more of this, kind of like, next week there's the, so apparently what is being suggested is that this meeting does not require any beliefs. You don't have to believe anything because there's no one that will believe this anyway. It's beyond belief. Actually, a belief is the hindrance to what is. Belief or no belief is the same illusion. So what is seen as a system, a belief system, or even when it's expressed that, I don't believe in anything, that's still another belief. I don't believe, I believe. I believe that there's a me. I believe that there's no me. It's a belief system. So what is being expressed here is this boundlessness, this openness. That a moment of a belief that comes in, it seems to obscure it. It believes as something. It believes in a thing. When what's being expressed is, this is no thing. So what seems to be a belief is a system to maintain reality, although there's no reality. So what obscures what is, which is neither a belief or not a belief? What is beyond belief and non-belief? It does not require anything because it's just pure absence. So let's just talk about it, although there's no one that's talking about this. For example, a belief in the self, or even a belief in a no self, is just a belief. It's a belief system. Some will argue that there's a self, and then some will argue that there's no self. But both are belief systems. Again, who does it stem from? Who believes in a self? Isn't that dualistic? Or even a belief in no self. Isn't that dualistic? Or a belief in awareness. You know, some people say it's just all awareness. Who believes awareness? It's a belief system. It's usually rooted from a seeming belief system that roots all the way back, although there's no all the way back, to religiousness, a belief in a source, a belief in a self, a higher self, and then it becomes rebranded as awareness. Hooray. It's a belief system. It's a position. What's being expressed here does not have any position, does not have any purpose, doesn't have any meaning, doesn't have an origin, doesn't have a before, doesn't have an, because before or after is just another belief system. Origin is just another belief system. Or seemingly a belief in consciousness, you know, pure consciousness. It's just another belief system. It stems from a believer. It stems from a knowing. What's being expressed here is not contained in a word. What is even saying too much. Because what is this. And this cannot even be captured by this word, because it's wordless. Let's just go even a bit further. A belief in non-duality, when it's applied, is a belief system. When it becomes dogmatic, when it becomes, I believe in nothing and everything, it's just not a belief. It's not about understanding it. It's not about grasping it. It's not about a system of belief system that seemingly contradicts what's being expressed. Because what's being expressed is this boundlessness, this wholeness, this. So when a belief system comes in, well, I believe that this and that and this, then it becomes muddied. What is really, really clear already, that does not require any belief system, does not require any understanding, becomes muddied by opinions, by perceptions, by ideas. I'm not sure if the person's here, but I did a one-on-one yesterday with a friend. And it was funny because all the person could say is, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. No one knows what's going on. Because when someone figured out what's going on, it's a belief system. So what seems to be obscuring, there's no one here, there's no one there. It's not a belief system that there's no one here. This is this kind of like the same thing of felt sense of reality. There's also this apparent undeniable felt sense of nothingness, of emptiness, although it can't really be expressed in words, because what's being expressed is just this obviousness, this simplicity, that there is something beyond belief and belief, which is not happening. So this is not happening. Although someone will say that's just another belief system. Let's go a bit further. It's happening, but it's not happening. It blows away the belief system because that can't be believed. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What this is unbelievable. It's not about getting it. It's not about capturing it. It's not about maintaining it. It's not about figuring it out. It's not about a position. This is openness. This is open clarity. This is the obvious simplicity that all that there is this and not even this. And before a belief system creeps through and basically explains or tries to figure what this is, then it obscures, then it veils, separates what is being expressed here. What's being expressed here is this felt sense of emptiness by no one. It's the obviousness that this is just all empty. And there's this arising of ideas, arising of belief system, arising of you and me. But those are just grand belief systems. The ultimate grand idea that there is separation is what is obscuring what has never been separated. What is always complete. What is always whole. What is always obvious. That what this is cannot be known. It's unknowable. And what this is this. No belief systems required. No knowing required. No understanding required. No getting it required. No capturing it's required. Nothing is required. It's as simple as that. It's so simple that it goes beyond belief systems, because there is no one that has any belief systems. Belief is just another belief. And it just becomes this closed loop of believing, not believing, believing, not believing. It's the same. It's a circular belief system of getting it, losing it, knowing it, not knowing it. It just goes into this pattern. So what's being expressed is just this energy, this boundless energy that is present in everything. And it does not have to be believed or not believed, because it is always present. It can't be avoided. It can't be avoided. It's not the next energy or the before energy. It's this energy, this boundless energy that does not require anything at all. No requirements, nothing needed. It's in everything. It's obvious. Can you feel it? Well, you can't feel it because there's no you. It's this. There's this energetic happening that's not happening at the same time. It does not require trying to get it. It's just this. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Sorry. And the chat is open as well. Hello, Galaxy.
Hello.
It's you. I thought it was the Galaxy.
I kept trying to put my name and it wouldn't take my name.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know why. By the way, I like the hat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
What do they call those hats?
Chapeaus? I don't know. Grandfather's
Chapeau?
Hats?
Chapeau, that must be
Chapeau.
French.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what it's called, but
I
when
think
I
that
was
French.
when I was 20, 30 years ago, I started wearing these hats. So this is my trademark hat ever since I was 20 years old.
Yeah,
And
I know.
people,
I saw a lot of videos with that hat on.
yeah.
Yeah. I like the other hat too, but this one looks nice, especially the way you blended everything in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
The lighting is good today. So the lighting is properly set. I took the
Oh.
time. Yeah. Normally it's just everywhere, like.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, and I've said this to you probably a million already times, but you can't drop all your beliefs.
Says who? It's just that's just another belief
Well,
system.
I believe, like I said, I believe when I put my foot down, it hits the ground.
Yes.
I believe when, the sun is going up, it's over here. And when it's going down, it's over there. I believe when the phone's ringing, there's somebody on the other side.
That's what I mean. So the belief is the illusion of the hindrance of what is appearing automatically without a belief system. So for example, a belief in separation, a belief that I'm putting my shoe on, a belief in the sun rising from the east is just another belief system that maintains the illusion or the spell of reality. It's a spell. And the belief is what drives it seemingly, although this is just a story. So, well, for example, when there is a dreaming at night, deep sleep dreaming, there's no believer there. There's no belief system. It's this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, but this is my problem with radical non-duality. Probably nobody wants to hear it. You don't want to.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
This apparent person has got to go around and do a whole bunch of SHIT. If I start saying, going into, well, you know what? I don't know if my foot's gonna hit the ground. To me. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any kind of cha-cha-cha what non-duality Linus wants to know. You know, it's like, I can't explain it. I guess because, you know, I have to look at my age, the situation I'm
What
in.
age?
I know, right. The age is a number. Blah, blah, blah. No, you know, I have to look at the whole environment.
Okay.
And, you know, it's, you know, otherwise, you know, what's going to happen? You're going to go walking into the store and you leave your purse over there just after you left, cashed your checks. You understand? Linus, what do you want me to say to you? Fuck you in French? I don't know how to say fuck you in French. Anyway. That's what I said. I'm just blowing it. You're the only person that'll listen to me blow it anyway. You know, everybody else shuts me down. So anyway, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Stupid hand down.
Hi, Emerson. Can you talk more about when you mentioned that awareness is a belief? Yes, because who's aware of being aware? Isn't that dualistic already? Even the word awareness. Awareness. Who is aware? Where does it stem from? What belief system did this come from? And what seems to happen in talking about awareness, there's a certainty to it. There is a landing to it. This is awareness. When this is being talked about in the radical, uncompromising communication, there is this openness. There's just this. It's not even this. It's whatever seems to be appearing. Nothing being everything. Nothing is everything. But before that becomes a belief system again, see what I mean? It's just this that cannot be expressed. This is already fully expressed without any words, without any languaging, without the use of dualistic ideas like awareness, like without the use of, some absolutist way of saying that this is pure consciousness or this is pure awareness or whatever absolute words that there is. It's not a landing. It's not a location. It is just what is. So when there is abiding, when there is, awareness, all that kind of stuff is a maintenance of a dualistic idea. It's a belief system, because who believes that? Where did that come from? In the same token, a teacher will say that there is no one here, but I am in awareness. Who is in awareness again? There is an abiding, or there is, something that has reached. So what is being sold is this, because if I think I mentioned this to someone, if I talked about awareness, I'll have probably more people and then be a lot richer. Because you can teach it. What's being expressed here is unteachable, because it already is. It already is complete. There's nothing needed. There's nothing required. There's no practice. There's no awareness. There's no abiding, because anything that is a doing is dualistic. Somehow it passes as non-duality when there is, doing this, correcting this, doing that, awareness here, all that kind of stuff. It's just what is. And what is just what's happening. So if there's practicing of awareness, that's also what is. But it's obscuring what is, because what is already complete. It's non-dual. Thank you for that question. If you want to add more to that, please go ahead. Only this can't be said, can't be stopped, and it doesn't move. Yes, this immovable this. Not the next this, not the before this, not abiding in this, just this. Only this. Thank you, Gillian. Is the truth a mystery? Well, there is no truth because that's just another belief system, isn't it? There is no such thing as a landing, kind of like, is this the truth? This is the truth and this is not the truth at the same time. There's this openness. It's a mystery. So if we take away the truth, it's just a mystery. Because that what fuels the seeking is they're looking for something, the truth. They're looking for the absolute or the finality. This is it. There's no next it. This is what's being longed for. It's already here. It's this infinite here. No one has it. No one has ever gotten it because it's just this obviousness. Someone complained about my glasses, so it's glaring, so this doesn't have a lens. If you want to add more to that, Lee, please go ahead. Hi, Emerson. Can you expand more about the self? Okay, yes. So again, it's just words, right? But these words are really loaded in the story anyway. So in the apparent story, it's just basically a morphing or it's a belief system that's really held on as a kid. As a kid, there's a belief in an outer, higher God that can save me. And then it becomes spirituality, which is an inner God that can help me. Then it becomes, the higher self versus the lower self. It's just a morphing of an idea. It's just basically recycled, a belief system that's recycled. So that's usually what the residue is. There's a lot of people that talk clarity, but the residue is the belief system. They believe that there is a higher self. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It can be clear as well, but the residue is if there is a belief in a self, then also there's a belief in others. And there's a belief in separation. And there's a belief in that there is an absolute, or there is this, even a belief in that this is all self. It's just another belief system. Also the same as this, there's no self. It's just another belief system. Because where does that stem from? If there's no time, all of this is just coming out and all of this is meaningless. How could the word self be more meaningful than apple pie? It's just this. So what's being expressed there is that when there is a held on to belief idea that is kind of like put on a thing, like, people want to respect the word awareness because it seemingly came from, masters and everything, but a belief in masters is just another belief. It's just religiousness. It's just spirituality appearing as non-duality, but non-duality is not two. So if there is a self and there is a, trying to get into that higher self, then that's dualistic as well. Or even just the word self, where did that come from? How can someone be so certain when this is just all about wholeness? Will the self know the self if there's no self? Will the self know itself when it's only self? No. That's just, they're just ideas again. Just ideas, just a whole bunch of, let's just say it, BS. The self for me was suffering. The self was, because I tried to be in a higher self, I'm not, in the self, all that kind of stuff, all of that maintenance of the self has been such a tremendous disaster. So what's being expressed here is the simplicity. What's being expressed here is this unconditional freedom. There's no self, there's no awareness, there's no consciousness, there's just this. Why complicate things? Why make things dualistic? Although there's no one doing anything. Why the delusion of duality? And the delusion of duality is, practicing awareness, abiding in awareness, all that kind of stuff. It's just another delusion. The belief that there's only the self. It's just anything that stems from a belief system is a delusion. What's being expressed here is just the clarity that this does not require anything at all. Thank you for the question. Hi, Emerson. I feel such a resonance, and all I could do really is hide myself and cry. There is so much emptiness, but I can't seem to understand what is happening. Can you please illuminate what is going on? Well, nothing's really going on. The resonance usually is when there is a resonance with the empty words that's being expressed here, this energetic nothingness, meaning it's nothing. There's just this smacking, kind of like nothing to nothing, emptiness to emptiness. There's no separation. It's just this. And this cannot really be fully expressed. And sometimes let me go back to when I was listening to this, there was also a resonance of something kind of like feeling like home, because it was no carrot was being dangled. There was no future event that will happen. It's only this. There was no promise of what's going to be happening, or there's no seeming correction of what's going on. There's no practices. So it's really relaxed. So when I was listening to this communication, although in the initial was a lot of rejection and resistance, when it seemingly was just listening to this communication, there was a relaxation, a remembrance, although there's no memory, a remembrance of something that is already, which is empty. And that's just another story. Hi, Emerson. Sorry I came in late. Are you going to be doing double meetings from now on? I'm not sure. I like the long format, to be honest, right? You know, there's just this flow. And what's usually held on in the first session comes up in the next session. I like that. Apparently. But yeah, I like this. So maybe, I'm not sure. I do have a next weekend, I have an in-person and online meeting. If you guys want to join that, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. Hey, Kathy.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. You know, I don't think I can come to any more long online meetings. I've become very disoriented,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you don't like the follow through, the emails. They're often not nice.
What's that?
They're often not nice.
Oh, the emails. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny because I don't really open my emails every day. If you notice that.
No, there was no. I don't ask for a reply. I just say basically fuck
I'm
you.
I think I was trying to explaining to someone that there's just this, there's a lot of absent-mindedness when there's no mind, right? So there's just a lot of walking around, a lot of kind of like, oh, that's a really great album music, and I listen to the album, and then I'm like, oh, I should listen to the previous album. So it's just a lot of that. It's just a lot of walking around, looking at trees, that kind of thing. But if there's an urgency, you know, people usually message me. They're like, hey, Emerson, I need a reply. I'm like, oh, sorry. You know, it's just what's happening.
The tree is talking back.
There's just a delight in what is. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Just kidding around. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Hi, Emerson. Can you clarify something for me? Sorry, just a second. When I listen to this communication, there's a lot of hopelessness and clarity. But sometimes when I listen to some teachers talking about awareness, there's hopefulness. And I don't know what is going on. Here, it's almost like sobriety, and I feel like I get drunk in listening to the awareness talks. Yeah, that's what's being expressed here, right? Because this is just clarity. This is not a promise. This is not giving anyone hope, but this is sincerity, that there's nothing to get, there's nothing needed. because all that there is this. So in the apparent awareness, talks and everything, there is a future and a past. Although they're talking about non-duality, there is, you will get there soon. You're not quite there yet. Just, all that kind of stuff. And I did that for quite a while. And so there's this dangling carrot. So there's this intoxication and in the dangling carrot, in believing in everything that's being said, because the teacher will really be speaking about something that is attained, something that is graspable. But it's BS. Sorry, I'm being cheeky, but it's BS. Because what's being expressed here, and there'll be contradiction. There'll be contradiction because what's being expressed, sometimes you'll hear, a teacher talking clarity, and then they'll contradict it by saying that, well, you'll get there soon. Here is just openness and clarity saying that you will never get there. There's nothing to get to. It's already this. And then the seeker would say that, what, but I don't know what this is. How do I get this? You will not get this because it's already this. There's no you required or belief in a you required. The other one, the awareness, teaching, all that kind of stuff, requires a belief system, requires an investment, requires a believer. And in that essence, there's something to do. So it keeps the seeker in a loop, in a loop, in a loop, in a loop. Oh, I got there almost, and it goes down again. Oh, I lost it. So what's being expressed here is that seeing that the loop, the never-ending loop or the closed loop, is just a loop. Kind of like what I said in the beginning, there's this belief and no belief. It's none of that. And it's both at the same time. It cannot be understood. And this is not trying to be, I understand, because there's no one here that understands anything. This is just an elaboration of I don't know. Because there's no I here that knows anything. And that's what's being expressed. There's just this obviousness here that this is just not about knowing. This is the unknowable. It's like whistleblowing. There's nothing to get. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to find. There's nothing to attain. It's already this. And this is it already. Ron is here. Ron, nothing to get. Hooray. Hey, Ron. Is that Ron Summerfield? I'm not sure. Thank you so much for the answer, Emerson. But how come I'm more addicted to this, although there's no hope? It's just what's happening. Or in the story, maybe the character is sick and tired of the BS of the dangling carrot. And it sees it as it is. When in the seeking days of Emerson, there was just so many dangling carrots I could take, right? Until it's seen that every single dangling carrot is just fantasy. Hey, Petra, good to see you.
Good to see you. I want to talk, I don't know what to talk about, but isn't it, I want to get rid of the terrorizing thoughts.
The arising thoughts?
The terrorizing thoughts of
the terror of arising thoughts, the anxiety of the future.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
getting what is it? Sucked into it. It seems like if I get sucked into everything, what's around me. I mean, I can say it different because yeah, I'm a me and my
Yeah. So
me and my work.
let's just go back into what was being expressed earlier, right? So everything is just really rooted in a belief.
Yeah.
So the belief in the arising thing, and in the terror is just another belief system.
But it's manifesting somehow in the body.
But
and,
that's another belief.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything
it
is
seems to
rooted
be-
in. Yeah. So it's just belief after belief after belief until you see that it's really nothing. It's really empty. When there's a deep sleep, there's an absence of belief. There's also an absence of belief, but the belief maintains the reality that there's a me. Maintains the
Yeah.
reality that there is this frightening thoughts coming up. But it's obscuring what is by believing that there's something other than this. So what's being expressed here is this. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with believing and sharing stories, but it's just what's rising. It's just an arising. It's just what's happening. And what's happening does not have a believer. It's just belief systems or non-belief systems. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what's happening. So when it's seen that it's just all emptiness, for example, when there's this, because there's nothing separate, right? So there's this emptiness arising as frightening thoughts. That's just emptiness. There's this emptiness feeling like a body sensation. That's just emptiness. It's just
Yes.
what's happening. Yeah.
It happens like every morning when I wake up. Start and
Why did you call me when it happens?
okay, next time I call you.
Yeah.
It's
You have
going
my
on.
WhatsApp.
It's
Yeah,
going
you have
on
my
for a
WhatsApp.
month already,
Yeah.
and I always think Emerson would say, yeah, but it's also empty.
It's
And
empty, yeah. But do call me up when it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be fresh and everything. Although this is just a story, but you have my WhatsApp, and I don't really sleep that much, so.
I try.
But text me first, though. Text me first.
Yeah, of
Because-
course.
so text me first, and what time is it there in the morning? What time do you wake up?
Thanks.
Just
I'll let
text
you
me.
know.
Just text me. Yeah, just
I
text me.
text you.
Yeah.
I wonder if it also has to still have to do
It's
with
like
this,
it's
this
like an.
is-
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
if it's somehow I think it still has to do also with this wheel of desire. It's somehow hides as I don't know. I'm confused now. Okay.
No, it's all right.
I'll be back later.
Okay. Anything that comes up, if you really look at it, is just this singular belief of separation.
Right.
It is always a singular belief of separation when it's not really, nothing is really separated. It's everything is whole, everything is empty. And but when it's like a recurring nightmare, that's what I was trying to say earlier, right? So a recurring nightmare happens, and then I used to have, what do you call those night terrors when you can't, when you think that there is. This happened to me for quite a while. There was this night terror in a belief of a recurring nightmare that I can't move in my bed. I don't know if you've had one of those, right? So I've had that recurring nightmare for quite a while in the story anyway. And then I don't even know when that stopped.
Yeah.
It's a recurring nightmare, but I used to get up, you know what I'm saying, and would not be able to sleep because I was afraid to go back to sleep because I was afraid of the recurring nightmare. And then it's not even real. But I felt that it was so real, right? I felt that it was so real that it affected me in the apparent, story of Emerson anyway, it affected me in my daily life for quite a while.
Yeah. Because the energy is so strong.
It is, yeah.
It strengthens this idea of separation again. So
in this story, there's this persistent belief that there is separation, right? And it can, and again, this is just a story. This is nothing really. It can seemingly appear as this terror of thoughts coming in. or this idea of a loss. For example, my I love my mom, so the idea of my mom passing away back when I was suffering was so terrifying that I would run into the shower and sob, or because I was trying to hide that there was this misery here. But whatever it was just this contractedness of my belief system that I can't live without my mom, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And this is, it's funny, it's so strong, the contraction so strong in the morning, but and somehow it dissolves during the day, and I'm fine in the evening. So
and it's the same with nightmares, if you really look at it, right? When you have nightmares at night, like I used to have that nightmare, and I would get up and I would have a glass of water and drink the glass of water and walk around for a few hours, because it was hard to shake off, because it felt so real. That energy.
It's not permanent. That's right.
It's not permanent. Yeah. And I don't even know when it stopped, but in the story anyway, I used to really be kind of like petrified of my sleep terror. I can't remember what it's called, but do call me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When we can hopefully
on the spot.
All right, love you, Petra.
Yeah, I love you too.
Bye. I really appreciate this dialogue, Petra, and the curious to express what is appearing. Likewise, thank you, Kelsey. Kelsey's here. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Galaxy.
Hi. I was just going to say that I'll look it up later, but there's something about that when you go paralysis in your dream.
Yeah.
There's a whole psychological study on it, because it happens even to little children.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened to me as a child too, and then it happened again. I think in my 30s or something.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but there's been a study on that. I forget what it was. Anyway, this morning when I was listening to Andreas, and somebody was trying to pick his brains.
I love Andreas.
About what is not separation or whatever, however you say it. I don't even know how to say it. And he was like, it's just like deep sleep.
Yes.
Now, for me, deep sleep obviously is very comforting, or I don't know.
It's like being home, right? There's no separation. There's no thoughts, there's no feelings, it's just deep sleep.
Well, I know it's different than having a dream, because when the dream have the dream, it's like, damn it, you still didn't get it right. Whatever. The dream is always usually a problem dream anyway, for the most part. And so deep sleep, there's nothing. And he had a good sleep because there's nothing, right? But how would you go around in deep sleep?
Well, this is already deep sleep.
Where?
This is deep sleep.
This is not deep sleep. I got too many problems with deep sleep. Sorry.
Too many dreams, dream problems.
Can't be explained.
It can't be. Yeah. So there's just
I don't know why I asked.
Yeah. What's being expressed here is that there's just this absence of separation. There's an idea of separation. There's a belief of separation, but those are seen as illusory. There's just this absence. So that's what's being expressed, right? So when there's absence, when there's a complete absence, it's just like deep sleep. It's like because there's no one here. And there's no one there. It's just deep sleep.
It seems hard to maneuver.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Never mind. I'm not going to ask.
Thank
I
you.
couldn't
Kathy.
ask. I couldn't ask him anyway because I had my headset on. I don't know how to use the phone when I have that on. So
Okay.
I'll write it down for next time.
All
To be
right.
continued.
To be continued. All right. Hi, Emerson. You really look good today. It's the lighting. It's in front of my face rather than right beside. It's just the lighting. Hey, Casey. Hey, Casey.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, there's like this glow coming off. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the lighting. It's the lighting. It's in front of me.
Yeah. This is seemingly like unbearable for here, at least at times, like, and there's nothing, I'm doing, but it's like, it's sometimes like in your introduction, you do it and then it's over and then there's silence. And then my mind is just like, run away from the silence. It's unbearable.
Yeah. Well, because it's unbearable because it's not being avoided anymore. There used to be, there used to be this illusory escape artist, right? That would come into fantasy mode or reject what is. So the rejection or the acceptance is the illusory obscuring of what already is that cannot be avoided. So this can come as, like, for example, walking this morning, I think I was talking to someone about it, that even the grays are so gray. And then
even the grays.
It's really gray. It's really, really gray. It's just gray. You know what I'm saying? It's somber. It's gray. It's like, this morning is really, but it's beautiful. It's stunningly, it's just gray, right? It was just so gray. So when there's an attachment of what the feeling is and all that kind of stuff, it's horrible. But when there's no attachment, when there's just this openness, it's just like, oh, this gray actually is really stunning.
Yeah.
And then I was taking pictures of my puppy and because of the gray sky, actually the pictures look amazing. I'm like, oh, wow. There's just this almost this clarity in the grayness. I don't know how to explain it, but there's just this, everything pops out. So when it becomes unbearable, it's unbearable. But unbearable without any attachment to what is seen as like, oh, wow, it's really horrifically horrible. Yeah. Whatever it is, there's just this wholeness to it, right? And that wholeness, when it's just what is, it's also empty is what I'm trying to express, meaning it's completely open. It doesn't have any kind of definition or doesn't have any entanglement. It's just what is. So when it becomes unbearable, it's just like, wow, that's unbearable. But there's no one behind it. So it's just the sensations, right? For example, when I used to listen to this communication quite a lot, when I was seeking, it was hard to swallow a lot of the things because it's so unbearable. Like, for example, when somebody says that it's just a belief system, like the awareness and all that, and I held on to that for so long. But I also knew, without knowing, you know what I'm saying, that it was just full of holes of what was being expressed, because it just jumps from a belief system to another belief system to another belief system. And this phantom believer, when it gets caught, right, you're like, oh, wow.
Spotlighted.
Yeah, spotlighted. It's really nothing. It's emptiness appearing as unbearable, appearing as a belief system, appearing as whatever. It's just empty belief system. It's empty unbearableness. It's all Ron said it's all a con job. It's like the long con. Well played, emptiness. Well played.
He's playing by himself.
That's right. That's right. It's like I like those twisty heist movies, It's like that.
You got one in mind?
There's so many of them. There's the money heist, there's these
Italian Job.
Italian
Kind
Job. There's one that I really liked. I can't remember the original Italian Job, not the new
Oh.
one. There's one that was based from with the cars and everything. So that one was really good.
The Mini Coopers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually a roller coaster ride. But yeah, so a lot of that kind of like plot twisty thing. So what is happening is very plot twist, and the twist is always nothing. It's always emptiness.
Yeah.
So sometimes you think it's like one time I thought it was the ego, but there's no egos, emptiness. I'm like, oh, I thought it was the mind, but there's no mind, emptiness. Oh, I thought it was consciousness, there's no consciousness, emptiness. I thought it was awareness, there's no awareness, emptiness.
It's the beliefs. Yeah, they're like hopping, man. And
yeah, it's
that's
well
how
played,
it feels.
well played
That's how it feels. Well played.
because I keep on going into these different directions and and thinking, well, you know what? I was in a path before, but now I'm in a pathless path. It's the same. It's all a con. It's all a con job, right? It's just maintaining reality. So when what is seen is this unbearable nothingness. You're like, oh wow, there's just this lightness to it. The unbearable is also light. It's also empty. The heavy is empty. Everything is empty. It's empty, empty, empty. And it's always been empty. And all of this, seeming plot twists and everything of kind of like thinking that I'm in a spiritual path now. Now I am, looking for the higher self. Now that I am, now I'm a pure awareness or, absolute whatever. Then it just keeps on twisting because there is no location to this. There's no getting this. So when you think that you get it, it flips and basically says, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And
that's why it's unbearable.
Yeah.
But it's unbearable. But it's like you were saying, it's unbearable for who, right?
For who? It's just unbearable. It's just what is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
so
really
when there's no trying
when it's like that,
Yeah. When it's an empty unbearableness, when there is no one that's saying that, oh, he's unbearable, I'm unbearable. It's just unbearable, whatever it is. And then when it's seen as it is, then the unbearableness becomes sometimes happiness, blissfulness. They're like, oh, wow, you're walking around. It's really gray outside. And you're like, this is actually stunning, this grayness, right? I was automatically before when there's a gray sky, I'll be like, that kind of thing, right? There's this.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We should go for a walk. It's really great. It's raining. It's a lot of puddle.
Gray every day. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like singing in the rain, singing in the rain. It's just what is.
Yeah. It's God.
The unbearable is empty. Yes, without the narrator. Yes, Monique got it. Did you read that, Casey? The unbearable is empty, kind of like what you said, without the narrator. Yeah, it's just emptiness. Oops. It's just emptiness. Well, that's the first session. We're going to have a breakout room. Don't leave. Just for an hour. We're going to be in the breakout room. I'll visit, and I'll see you guys back in about an hour. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. We'll see you back in an hour.
Thank you.
The best intros. I'm just joking.
You got to have some kind of hook or something, right? Like,
it's going to be the best one ever.
I can't wait. Kidding. I can't wait.
It's going to be silence.
Unbearable.
It's a bearable silence. All right.
Oh, yes.
The breakout room is now open.
See you later.
See you later.